Well, if it isn't Tony Surace.
That's me. Yeah.
Otherwise known as Harry.
Well, that's my nickname. The funny part about us, silly buggers, we call each other Harry.
Oh, what, you're all Harry?
Yeah, we're both Harrys, that's right.
But there's three of you. You all three Harrys?
No, only Joe and I.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, you'll be feeling it, this Victorian...
I feel like I'm at the North Pole today because I come from a lot better climate than this, up near Ulladulla in New South Wales.
And you've come down for your nephew's, Gino's wedding.
Yeah, that's right. But,
He's finally settled down, hasn't he?
He has, yeah, he's matured a bit. But I spent 44 years down here, and we went up there one year for a holiday, and I thought this is a far better climate than Sth Gippsland, so we sold out and went up there. And every time I come back down here, especially today, I know why I left. It's too bloody cold.
Now, you took over the family home on the corner there, didn't you?
Yeah, after about, when we were about, just after we got married, we took over half of the farm, the original one, that the old fella bought when that was his first farm. We farmed there for 14 years, reared 7 kids in a 2-bedroom house. I don't know how, but we did. And then we sold that and bought a farm down at Ransby.
I remember that, opposite the Ransby church.
Yeah, and we were there for 9 years, and after all that time I was quite sure we weren't ever going to make a lot of money dairying, so we gave it away. And
well, you didn't have to know much to work that one out about not making money dairying, did you?
No, it just took me a long time to find out. That's all, but...
Well, you got smart quick, unlike lots of others.
Yeah, I left it long enough, but once I went up there, it was better than farming. We bought a deli and takeaway food shop. We worked that for about, I don't know, 8 years, I think. And by that time I was into my 60s, and so I thought it was time to give work away. So all I do now is woodwork and fishing, and that's not a bad life.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when you were living at opposite the Ransby church there, because you were pals with my mum and dad, and you gave them a big hunk of your own homegrown, home-cured bacon, and it was the best bacon that we'd all ever tasted.
Is that right? I don't remember that, but I suppose it did. Yeah, we used to, we had pigs. And, we used to kill our own pigs. And when I was at Strzelecki on that corner, I had a fairly big piggery there. And,
yes, I know. The remains of it's still on the ground.
Yes, it's just a pile of bricks now. And I remember when we built it, the priest came out to see us one day, and we were living in the little farmhouse there, and the priest looked down there. He said, "What are you building down there?" And I said, "That's the new piggery." And he said, "God," he said, "the pigs are going to have a better house than you." And I said, "Well, hopefully they'll get me a better house." And they did later on. We extended it and made quite a big house out of it. But, it was an awful windy place there on that corner.
Oh, it was, wasn't it? And you never had a car run into the front?
No, but we had plenty run into the paddocks. I did have one car, didn't make the bend one day, and he finished up down near the cow shed. He thought that was the road, but it wasn't. He was at the cow shed, and I put him on the right track, and away he went.
The wheel of one of my brother's cars ended up in your gully.
The wheel of one of your brother's cars, is that right? Which one? John?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, it was such a steep, winding bit of road that we had a lot of cars go over there.
My other brother, Robert, tells me that you spray painted his MG with a vacuum cleaner.
Right. Yes, he had a little MG and he pulled it all to pieces, and he got me to go around there and paint it. And
with a vacuum cleaner?
It was a funny old spray, yeah. Well, it was like a vacuum cleaner, but it was a spray painter, and I think we made a pretty good job of it, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
You did. Now, let's get back to the land, and you grew up picking peas and cutting bracken too. What do you think about pea picking?
I think pea picking is the worst job in the world. We used to have to get up at daylight, and no matter what the weather was like, we'd have to go down and pick peas. And Grace, my sister Grace, and I and Mum, we pretty good at it. If we worked hard enough and long enough, we'd pick 8 bags a day. And
Each or between you?
Each. And yeah, it was an awful job. We'd done it for years and years, and if there was more peas than what we could pick, he would get some Italian women out from Curramborough to pick them, and he'd pay them $5 bob a bag, and he used to give us a shilling a bag. It's no wonder he got on his feet.
Oh.
But I remember one year I'd picked that many bags of peas that he owed me £87.
Gosh.
And that's a lot of bags of peas at a shilling a bag. But I never got around to getting the £87. And I remember one night saying to him before he went to market, I want to buy a motorbike, I want me £87. Well, I didn't know whether I was going to get it or not, but when I got up next morning, the £87 was on the bedside table, and I went in and I got me motorbike.
No worries.
I had no money again. It was just catch rabbits for a few bob.
Well, now, my dad told me that your parents, when you kids were being raised, they didn't want you to talk Italian, and they insisted that you talk English. And my dad reckons you told him that you learned how to talk Italian out in the pea paddock.
That's exactly right. When I left school, when I was 14, the old boy said, make sure you want to leave school, because he said all you're going to do is work when you come home. And he would get these Italian blokes out to work for him. They couldn't speak a word of English, they couldn't read or write, so working with them every day for years, I got to learn Italian quite well, parrot fashion, and went over to Italy about 4 years ago. Never thought I'd get there, and I knew I had a couple of cousins there, and we actually found them, and it was the highlight of the trip, yeah.
Fantastic, and you yacked away in your...
I didn't have any trouble talking to them, yeah.
Well, I picked up quite a bit of Italian out there when I was picking with the Italians. Gee, it's a bit cold, isn't it? So we might have to knock it off in a minute. But did you...
He's a jolly good fella here today.
Did you get to knock off picking peas in a thunderstorm?
It had to be awful bad weather before... I don't ever remember knocking off picking peas and going home. No, I really don't. He built a damn bag tent down the paddock. If the weather got really bad, we'd sit in there until the rain stopped, and then back out we'd go. Back out we go. And then if you weren't picking peas, you were cutting bracken fern. And it's no wonder my shoulders are no good today.
And there were no raincoats then, it was pea bags on top of you, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was no raincoats and no money. And he used to make these raincoats for us out of 2 chaff bags. One went over your head and hung down there, and the other one went round the side. And I don't know, you done them up with a bit of string. They were all right until they got wet. When they got wet, they were that heavy that you couldn't hold them. But it was a terrible life.
Good to look back on.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I still call Strzelecki home, but I'd never live here again.
Yeah, righto. What about Strzelecki tiger snakes?
Yeah, plenty of them. Strzelecki tiger snakes, we killed hundreds of them over the years. It'd be nothing to, if you got into the paddocks that had never been ploughed, it'd be nothing to kill 3 or 4 of the damn things a day, yeah.
Ever chased by one?
Aye?
Ever chased by one?
Well, not really. I've had them coming in my direction. There's a lot of the do-gooders these days don't kill snakes, but the only good one's a dead one. No, I can't say I've ever been chased one. I've had them chased by one. I've had them coming in my direction, but if you stood aside, they'd go past, but I never liked them.
Nah, and bulls, you've been chased by a bull?
No, not the ones that we had. I'd never been chased by one. No, they weren't too bad. I've never been chased by a bull. Been chased by the old man, but not by a bull. Many a time.
All right, well, it's freezing, so thanks for having a chat in this inclement conditions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in Victoria.